There you go.
Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara, CPA, coming to you live from downtown Bethpage, Long Island, New York, for another unbelievable episode of How to Win a Business. And the two gentlemen standing to my left, or would you call it standing, or like whatever? You're to my left.
I'm kneeling in awe of you, just in case you're wondering.
So they're on my left, depending on which side you're looking from. But we have my friend and coach, Larry Broughton, and another friend and mentor, Dave. Dave, what's your last name? Braun.
That's it.
Dave, I think I need new glasses. But I already know your name. I know your name because you have been instrumental in helping me and my team grow.
Yeah.
And putting all the pieces together. So you want to take, 30 seconds, 60 seconds to introduce yourself to everybody?
Okay. Larry, you want to go first? Do you want both of us, or what do you want? Just me?
Why don't you go, Dave?
Both these. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm Dave Braun, and my claim to fame is working with Larry Broughton on Udozy and our coaching and all we do there. We have a couple of things. We do a lot of business coaching as well as Hire My VA, which is what we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. And I also run a web development company where we design websites and we do SEO.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good. That's good, Dave. Yeah. And I have the honor of being Dave's business partner in all things coaching and in Udozy and Hire My VA and anything that has to do with helping entrepreneurs, leaders, and high achievers reach their fullest potential. Dave and I are kind of tied at the hip. That we have found a way to really work well with each other and create huge value for our clients. I also own a hotel company based here in Southern California. I've been really blessed with getting lots of recognition for my entrepreneurial and leadership endeavors. And prior to really launching headlong into the entrepreneurial space, I spent about 9 years in the Army in Special Forces, the Green Berets.
Interesting.
And now I get to work with people like you, Joe.
I'm honored. I'm like, it's hard to believe that, the way that you guys have supported me and helped me. I thought you were actually going to forget about the hotel part of your business, but
it's seasons like this. I wish I could forget about it. But that's why we're on this entrepreneur. This is why we're on this coaching and mentoring journey, Joe. And one of the reasons we've stuck with you is because, listen, we love to recognize people who have amazing potential, who go all in to make it a reality. You're one of the folks who do that. And we saw over and over again, Joe, people who might have had, they got all pumped up with the fake confidence from dealing with some gurus, but they might have lacked the skills or the competence or just the resources. And so that's one of the things that Dave and I do that's so different than a lot of other coaches. If there's a need, if there's a tool that somebody needs and that tool is not in the arsenal, we recreate it. We help them get there. And that's where Hire My VA kind of came in.
Yeah. That's interesting because the way you explain that is sort of like the way that we approach Bedrock Business Builders.
That's why we work well with each other. You're right.
It's no coincidences, right?
Yeah.
So let me take a few seconds to talk about my story because then it'll segue into what you guys have done. I'm an entrepreneur, right, Larry?
That's right.
That happens to have a CPA license.
That's right.
And I've had my share of ups and downs like every other entrepreneur. And, one thing I learned is that life is tough and business is even tougher. And once you accept that, maybe you can move forward.
Right.
And, I felt like I was trapped as an accountant because all the businesses I tried, some of them were good. Some of them I sold, but most of them don't exist anymore, and there's a reason for that. So I always wound up going back to accounting, and it's tough to grow an accounting business because it's very labor intensive. Most of the people that are really good have their own practices. That's why there's a lot of solo CPAs out there.
Sure.
So, I was able to grow a little bit, never, to the point where I wanted to. And a couple of years ago, I changed my business model. I decided to work with people basically that have little or no money. They have zero revenue. And I realized the only way this model is going to work is if it's big. Okay, you can't make a living having 100 clients paying, what we charge.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to Larry because I know Larry knows how to scale. I've known Larry for a long time, and he started coaching me. And then Dave and Larry created this program for me. They created it for me. I'm serious. It's called Hire My VA, and if you know me, if you've worked with my team, you know how freaking amazing they are.
Yes.
All of them. I got 4 full-time VAs, and we're like family now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, we have an hour-long meeting every week, and it winds up being an hour and a half, 2 hours, because we're just talking to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did that happen? Because I tried hiring VAs for years, and never had this kind of success.
Yeah. Dave, you want to take that?
Yeah, well, just in a nutshell, what we do is we help you to prepare, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants without breaking the bank. That's our tagline, meaning your bank, Joe, right? Or whoever is watching, right?
Yeah.
And so what we've got, though, is we've got the 3 pillars of our program is prepare, hire, and thrive. And thrive is what so many people miss, right? But it really comes down to, Joe, are you really familiar with Alabama football?
I know they're pretty good.
Yeah, so they're unbelievably good, right?
Yeah.
Year after year after year, he loses assistant coaches. They swap out quarterbacks, and they just keep winning year after year after year. What he's created is a system, a repeatable system that can be done over and over and over again. And that's what we have with our membership, or of course in community, and Hire My VA. It's a system that once you learn and do, you can hire a virtual assistant over and over and over. That will have you a great chance of success at winning the championship. Yeah. That's really what it's about.
Yeah. Additionally, if you don't mind if I jump in here, one of the things that Dave and I are just committed to creating entrepreneurs who can build legacy for their life and their community, right? The government is not going to save our bacon. It's not. We have to give up on that. It's the entrepreneur class. And the entrepreneur class is basically our civilian warrior class. We're the ones out there that are fighting to make a difference each day. Hire My VA is just one tool,
right? Okay,
in that. And so when you go through the Hire My VA program, you're not just learning how to hire a VA. We are opening up our toolbox and sharing with you all kinds of tools on how to be successful. And so in the prepare portion of this, Joe, let me back up. There are lots of programs or systems out there to help you hire a VA. But what do? They hire you a VA. They don't go through and say, like we did with you, Joe, what do you really need? Where are you really struggling? What are the areas where you're absolutely overwhelmed right now? And then identify what that is. Let's find a VA to help you there. And then let's set up systems, let's set up a culture in your organization where they actually do great things. They thrive. They help you reach your fullest potential. Our goal here with this program, Joe, is to help people find freedom. Economic freedom, time freedom, emotional freedom. Wouldn't that be awesome if we had all those things in our life, right? And so between the prepare portion and the thrive portion, that's where we differentiate ourselves. Because where people get frustrated with the VAs, like I know that you did, Joe, for a while, where you had VAs before and they didn't work out, you hire them again, and finally you say, screw it, this isn't, VAs aren't for me. Well, it's because no one's done the hard work, the heavy lifting beforehand, or showed you how to make them really thrive in your organization. Because let's be honest, there are some challenges. There's cultural differences, there's time differences. And so you have to, although you need to treat these folks like humans, right, with dignity and respect, and treat them as if they're on their team, you do have to modify your leadership and management skills a little bit for them to be highly effective. But once you get the right people on the right seat on the bus, as Jim Collins talks about, it's like you realize I can never go back. You can't unknow what you know, at this point. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You know, because,
Yeah.
and you know, the first 2 VAs we hired didn't work out. And
Right.
that was on me because I hired the wrong time. I hired 2 people with no experience.
Right.
Because I thought that it would be easier to teach somebody.
Yeah.
So, you know, you try it, and if it doesn't work, you try it a different way, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
and
right.
that's what we did. We
Yeah.
actually went back to the course because we missed something.
Yeah.
You know, and it was that thing. It was like, what am I really, what do I really need now? It's not what I think I need. And you have this great exercise for that, where you actually write down all of your tasks.
Everything you're doing.
And when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this is where I'm spending my time. And that's not where I wanted to spend my time.
Yeah.
But fast forward, right now, I don't do any bookkeeping or accounting work. I just oversee everything. I spend most of my time having fun.
Well, this is the way it should be, because what, you know, from the E-Myth, right now you get to work on your business, not in your business. And a lot of times the entrepreneur, the founder, the business owner are the ones who have the most skill set, the best skill set, and the best messaging to attract new clients. And so if you can do that, if you can be doing stuff like you're doing now, you're speaking at events, you're getting new clients, that's how you make more money.
Well, I realized because people hire me. Okay, I tried hiring salespeople. I tried hiring them. I did everything, believe me.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, nobody's going to hire me unless they talk to me.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not like VAs are going to replace you. It's just that it's getting you into doing what you do best. Right. It's like nobody can be the CPA except for you in your organization.
Believe it or not, I was doing my own graphics.
Yeah, I believe it.
Then I hired Elizabeth. She was doing it, which was better. But then we said, well, she was wasting time doing the graphics. So our first hire was Janine, our graphics person.
Right.
And she is unbelievable. But let's, you know, we're talking about the system, and it's sort of like a mystery. You know, everybody says, oh, okay, so because I've hired, you know, firms like you said, they just hire somebody for you, and they say they're going to oversee them. But there's none of the stuff that you guys do, which is, it's a course. It's a course that I had to put time and effort into. Yeah.
Dave, you want to take a swipe at that first?
Yeah. So Joe, but what's your question though, on that? Like,
how is it structured? Like it's not only a course, it's a community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it is a course. If you're gonna really learn something that's really going to benefit your business long term, right? You've got to go through some kind of a course, right? And you've got to spend a little bit of time learning.
Invest.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are getting some feedback.
Yeah, we are now.
But anyway, you got to spend a little bit of time investing, right? And that's what you did, and that's one of the reasons why you were successful, right? You got to spend some of that time investing. Most people don't want to do that. They'll want to come in and they'll say they won't go through, you know, things in order. That's like when we talk about a system. That's why you got to go through the system step by step by step. It's there for a reason. It's designed for a reason. We've created that formula out of our own experience and trials and multiple failures, but multiple successes repeated over and over.
So you want to know why I did it? Why I invested? I was sick and tired of doing the same thing and getting the same results. It's like something's got to change, and if this is it, then fine. And it was worth it.
Well, Joe, I remember in the community, you, there was the exercise where you created your core values. Remember that?
Oh man, that was huge.
Yeah, and
that was huge.
Yeah, and then it was like, well, can you create an acrostic out of that so you can remember it and your team can remember it? Remember, you did that.
Yeah.
Remember what was that acrostic?
Oh wait, it's over here.
By the way, while he's looking for that, Dave, if you have headphones, that might cut down on the.
I can put those in.
And while you're looking for that, I do want to come back to that. But the great thing I think about the way we set this thing up is both Dave and I are big on trying to understand how does the brain work. And what we've realized is there are some people that are built like Dave who want to go step by step, and they want to read every line of this, and they're going to do every exercise, right? They're going to read the user's manual before they get into the car, try the new piece of technology. I, on the other hand, not that one's better than the other, I want the quick start. Just get me there. What's the punchline to the joke? All right. Where's the story going to end? That's the type of person I am. And so we built it for both of those. If you want the quick start, you can do that. If you want to go line by line, step by step, exercise by exercise, that's in there too. And so this is why I think, Joe, that this has been so successful, is that a lot of people are finding huge value in this thing.
Yeah, and I like both. I got a lot out of both because you know I'm a CPA. Give me a set of instructions and I'll follow them. I love that. I love checking off those boxes complete. Yeah. But then there were questions, and so I went into the community and I actually got to ask your VAs, some of your VAs, because they've been with you for a long time. Right. So I got that perspective, and yeah, there is, you know, a communication difference. They're a lot more responsible than us. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know,
if you hire the right people and you ask the right questions during the interview process, I think they're more responsive, more respectful, but there's clearer lines of authority culturally. Let's make sure that those folks who are listening or watching understand this program can work for hiring a VA anywhere. Okay,
yes.
It really can. However, what we talk a lot about is hiring VAs that are in the Philippines for a couple of reasons. Their English, depending on the level, the level of education that people have, is generally very good. The time difference seems to work out really well for a lot of people, right? You know, it's nice that if we have a work day, we get some stuff done. We can meet with the VAs at the end of the work day, and the next morning you get up and the work is done. There's something glorious.
Yeah. Well, you know, that was part of your process, because we asked them, you know, what hours do you want to work?
Yes, that's right.
And they're flexible, and we have they're all on different schedules, so that was great.
Yeah. Well, the idea here is let's set your business up to help you find freedom.
Right.
Let's set it up so that you find the freedom. You know, too many of us we become a slave to our business.
Yeah, and I realize I have American VAs too. I've hired American people. You know, I needed people that were going to get me the results.
Yes.
And, you know, it's worked out great. What didn't we cover?
Well, what I was going to say is that's one of the, as you build your team and you can afford it, right? One of the great successes we see for people is they mix and match, right? They'll mix and match people from, if they're a U.S. based virtual assistant versus the Philippines or somewhere else, right? Because there's good reasons to do both, right? We are, as Larry says, we are about, like he said, getting you freedom to spend the time the way you want and to do the things that, you know, you're most naturally apt to excel at and to have fun at. Because we created our businesses to have fun, right?
That's one of our core values.
Yeah, we want to have fun. We want to do what we're best at, and we just want to enjoy it. And if we're not doing that, then there's something wrong. But the only way that we believe to do that is you've got to build a team around you to do some of those other things. Because if you're going to build a business, frankly, there's all kinds of stuff that you're going to have to do. No matter who you are, you're just not going to like. So why do it? Why not offload it to somebody else?
For those who don't, Joe, you said it. So what else is there? Well, I think that people need to know that this is not just something that we just threw together over a weekend. We spent a long, long time on this. And so it's actually, the system is actually on a platform called Kajabi. So you have both phone app access to all the stuff plus desktop stuff. It comes in different modules along the way. So as you said, as you finish things, you get the little reward of, yes, I got this thing done. Okay. So it's put together, it's very professionally done. We went through a whole beta testing process on this a year ago or whatever it was. We've had a lot of people go through it since. And part of being in the program is we do have a community that you can belong to, where we take both our our Victory Mastermind members and our Hire My VA members, and we do joint calls with each other. We share ideas, and that we're finding that community is as powerful as people that are just going through the program. We have found some people have purchased the program just to get into the darn community, and they're there on the calls every month, but they're not going through the program.
Really? That's interesting.
Well, what's that tell you about community? We were built to be together, to share ideas.
Right? We have some people like that. We're not doing their bookkeeping, and they just come to our events, and they're paying us.
Isn't that funny?
So you're right. That's what people want. I'm looking for a link to your site.
You could just go to hiremyva.com.
Okay.
And that has, and we're in the process of redoing it slightly. And I'll tell you why, Joe. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
You sure?
Of course.
Well, it's kind of like what you were saying before and Larry were saying before is, you find problems and issues, and then you start building tools to help people overcome that, right? So one of the things that we've discovered is that there are some folks who, as Larry said, are not as built as we are to walk through a system exactly the way they should. So what we do is we've created what we call a white glove service to walk them through side by side, and we find the VA for them. So we have a whole process of doing that. We're just coming out of beta, and we've been pretty successful at helping some people get some good VAs.
So the Hire My VA program is a do-it-yourself.
Yeah,
right. Here are the instructions. You do it. The white glove service, concierge service, whatever we want to call it, but we're calling it the white glove service, is a done for you. We will meet with you in the beginning to find out what kind of VA do you need. We then do the heavy lifting of finding them.
Right.
All right. And then, so we'll present multiple candidates to you. And then afterwards, which again, even the other organizations aren't doing this, we're following up afterwards to make sure that these people are actually thriving in your organization.
Can we backtrack a little? Because what was interesting to me was the process. My system for hiring people is I would put an ad out there, and I would hire the first person that was available.
Because you aren't worthy of anybody else, right?
I didn't. And then I would wonder, why aren't they doing the job? Why aren't they doing this?
Yeah.
But why did I bring this up? Now I lost my
Well, you said you want to talk about the system a little more.
Oh yeah. So, you make them jump through hoops. Like
that's one of the things.
Recording a video, putting a hidden word in the thing. It's like one of the things that was great, because we got a lot of applications, but I realized it's not about the volume; it's about who are they.
That's right.
So by that one step, it's like we eliminated like 60 or 70% of the applicants.
Well, here's why. We are business owners, entrepreneurs who are always looking for best practices, and we're trying to help other people. We're not just creating a program for the frickin' sake of creating a program. Why do it if it's not working, right?
Yeah.
Collect people's checks.
And then I got to tell you something else that really helped us. It helped me tremendously, and the team was the way we had to present who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We had to tell them about our core values, about who I am, who we want to serve. And that made a big difference. It was like, they want to work for us.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of them. I said, well, what kind of salary? They wouldn't even say. They were like, we just want a chance.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to be very attractive.
But it also made us think.
Mm-hmm.
It made us think. It's like, that's like the side benefit. It was like, oh my God, I never had core values before.
That's why
I had them, but I had them.
We're trying to help people build their businesses.
Right.
And this is one tool to help them do that.
And it's definitely, I'm a walking billboard for you guys. I mean, and anybody that's working with us, I tell them, listen, this is how I didn't know how to hire these people because they're all amazing. We're at about 20 minutes. I like to keep these short. So can we talk about your pricing? Because when I heard what you're charging, I was like, is it public or?
Yeah, you can go for For the course and community, you can see what our current pricing is on hiremyva.com.
Okay.
So that's where you want to go to see what that is.
Okay, great.
And
Because
so we can give you coupons and all that kind of stuff. I think we've done that before, right?
Okay.
So, and you can post those.
Is there a way for them to like register and get on your mailing list?
Yeah, you can go into hiremyva.com, and there's actually an opt-in to be able to get the overall very comprehensive checklist of all the things that you need to consider when you're hiring a VA when you want to be successful.
So you actually have an opt-in on your website.
Shocking, I know.
Who thought of that? Who thought of that, Dave? You know how long it took me to figure that out?
Or they can, if you want, they can just email us. Just easiest to do, like dave@hiremyva.com if they want.
Awesome.
More.
Any parting words of wisdom? I know both of you guys have a lot, so.
Well, I guess what I would say is one of the things that's important to recognize about this whole process is, like, Joe, when you put in the work, you put in that work up front, but you're not having to repeat it, right? You're not having to redesign your mission and vision and your core values, right? Some of those key things to get you to where you were able to build your team, you put in that work pretty much one time, right? And that's what this does, right? Yeah. It's an investment, as Larry said, but it's not like you're investing it over and over and over again. You're learning the system one time.
That's a great point. Because now we're going to have to hire a couple more accountants before tax season. And I'm like, no problem. We already we already have everything. I'm like, this is a piece of cake.
Yeah. I would just leave folks with this, and it's similar to how I always sign off on these things, Joe. I am absolutely one of the biggest believers, biggest fans of entrepreneurship out there. And it is a hard road at times. And if you think that you're going to jump into entrepreneurship and make $1 million overnight, it's not going to happen. It's going to take some blood, some sweat, some tears, some pain, some sleepless nights. But if you can learn from somebody who's further down the path than you are, take them up on it. You know, what's the lifetime value of one good idea? And I can tell you there are bucket loads of good ideas in the Hire My VA program, right?
Yeah.
And I would prefer that people just stop chasing success, but really try to live a life of significance. And by finding freedom in your life, you can live a more significant life. You can serve your family members. You can serve your community. You can serve at your place of worship, right? And when you live a life of significance, success just naturally is the byproduct of that.
I believe that. Thank you, Larry.
Yeah,
thank you for coaching me, for being a friend. Dave, thank you. Thank you for creating this program for me.
You're welcome.
For you.
And,
next time it's dedicated to Joe on it.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I need now. I'll let you know what I need next.
Okay, good.
So, all right, that's our story, folks. I'm sticking with it. Over and out. God bless, and we will see you again next time. Thank you.
Okay.